Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that takes a look at players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. First of all, today we're going to start off with the match yesterday. I thought it was a fabulous away performance by Arsenal at a very, very difficult place to go to, Crystal Palace. Palace were up for it. You saw from their lineup, Balassi, Zaha, a really attacking team. Connor Wickham, Kabai, but Arsenal right from the off are absolutely brilliant. And what a fantastic goal by Olivier Giroud yesterday. He's got his critics. Of course, we all still want to see a striker come in, but not because we want to get rid of Giroud, or certainly not me anyway. The guy's got quality. That was a fantastic finish by Olivier Giroud yesterday and a great goal. And also in that game, I mean, how good in that game was Mesut Ozil. I mean, he was just simply imperious throughout the whole game. A magnificent performance by him. They couldn't deal with him. As I said, his assists for Giroud's goals, some of the passing he did in the game. I was chatting to the guy next to me and I said, listen, you know, with Ozil, if he wants, he can easily be the best midfielder in the Premier League. Only, I think, say, David Silva at Manchester City can live with him. He just needs to do it every single week. But he is a top player. When he's playing like that, you pay your money to watch a guy like, Ozil play. Simply brilliant he was yesterday. And the controversial issue yesterday, of course, was Francis Coquelin. Should he have been sent off? Wenger pulled him off before he could get a red card, which he was heading towards getting for sure. Listen, I felt that the first booking he got was definitely not a booking anyway. That was not a booking. So for me, you know, the second one, yes, you could argue that was a booking, but I thought that the referee dealt with it right. He told Paul Mertesacker to one side and said to him, listen, you know, if he carries on like this, he's going to be off, mate. So Arsenal took the decision. They took him off. But what it did sort of reveal to me is like what a lot of people have been saying. If Coquelin is out, and his work rate yesterday was excellent, he was getting all around the pitch, he was putting in lots of tackles, started off a little bit shaky, but I thought he really grew into the game well. But it highlights yesterday that when you're playing that sort of role as a defensive midfielder, you pick up yellow cards because you have to do a lot of tackling, you have to do a lot of hassling, you have to do a lot of, getting your body across other players. So you pick up cards, and this is why a lot of people say we need another defensive midfielder. Although, yes, he did bring on Arteta to cover, but is Arteta going to be good enough to cover if, say, Coquelin is out? That is why a lot of fans would like to see us bring in a defensive midfielder. A fantastic away performance by Arsenal. A lot of people had us losing this one. A lot of people thought we'd be in problems with this game, and I thought that Arsenal coped with it very, very well indeed, and puts us in a good way and a good mood going into that game against Liverpool next week. Now, into the transfer business today, Arsenal being linked with Ezekiel Lavezzi. We're being told that PSG have offered Lavezzi to Arsenal, and he'd only cost about £8.5 million. However, he is currently apparently on about 95 grand a week at PSG, which is a lot of money. He's not going to, well, there's no way Arsenal would offer him them sort of wages. And of course, I've said this before, the sticking point on Lavezzi, who plays predominantly on the wing for PSG, but he has played as a centre forward in other teams in his career, and he's a very good player. But the sticking point is Lavezzi, now 30 years of age. Is Wenger going to buy a 30-year-old? As I said, 8.5 million. Seems very cheap on the surface of it, but would be very, very high wages. And you're going for a player, as I said, who's 30 years of age. And I don't know. I don't think he'd be the answer. I don't think he'd be the sort of player that Arsene Wenger would be looking at. But he has been offered to Arsenal. If Arsenal want to pick him up, he is available. Another player seemingly available, spoken about him many times, it's all over the papers again today, and that's Mario Götze. Götze is very unhappy. We've said this before. at Bayern Munich. There are rumours going around that him and Pep Guardiola don't even talk. He's alluded to that, in fact, in previous sort of interviews and that Guardiola doesn't even talk to him. Now, he's very unhappy there. The guy scored the World Cup winner, came to Bayern Munich very controversially from Borussia Dortmund for a massive fee. He wants to be playing every single week. He would be a great... Listen, ordinarily, I'd say that'd be a fantastic signing a player of that caliber. And we know that Arsene Wenger really wanted to buy him before he went to Bayern Munich. However, we've now got Mesut Ozil. Now, if you bring in Goetze, where does he play? We're already finding it difficult to accommodate all the excellent midfielders we've got. We're having to put Ramsey out on the right. What happens when Wilshere comes back? Remember, Wilshere's still got to come back into that midfield. You know, Oxlade-Chamberlain's got to be put in there. Theo Walcott didn't even get on the pitch yesterday. How are you going to go and buy Goetze? That's why I think it's so unlikely. It'd be very expensive as well. As I said, maybe if we didn't have, you know, the quality that we had there, but that is not an area right now that we need to strengthen. We've got lots and lots of quality there, and I think we're all right with what we got, but we are still being linked with Mario Goetze today. Karim Benzema posted on his Instagram yesterday, come back to Madrid, #work. So he's on his way back to Madrid to get back into training. Even though he posted that, the rumours are still rumbling on. There's still a lot of rumours linking him with a move to Arsenal, saying that he will sign. Whereas equally, there's lots of rumours saying that, listen, this deal's not going to happen. How many more times we're going to speak about it? Arsenal want to get it done. Arsenal would love to sign him. He's amongst the best strikers there are around at the moment. But would Real Madrid sell? Who would Real Madrid replace him with? We're not going to know anything about this one until we get right near to the windows. It's going to be one of them that could be just pulled out of the hat. You see surprise deals. We've had it with Ozil, Welbeck last year. Nobody thought we were going to be signing Danny Welbeck. We ended up signing Welbeck. Nobody thought that Manchester United were going to be signing Falcao, which is at the time, remember, was a mega signing. They pulled off Falcao on the last day. Who knows what will happen? We're going to have to wait and see. Very interesting, this one about Clinton Njai. He's the brand new guy who's striker who's signed for Tottenham Hotspur. Now, there's this rumour flying all over the place that Njai, just before he was about to join Tottenham Hotspur, that Arsenal moved in and tried to sign him, which is very interesting. Is that meaning that Arsenal are sort of realising that they're not going to be able to get Benzema while they were trying to pick up Njai? Now, he quoted yesterday to L'Equipe, the French publication. He said, I never had any of the leaders of Arsenal on the phone. They only contacted my agent. My choice was made. I was determined to join Tottenham. Well, that's obviously endearing to the Tottenham fans, probably told to say that by his agent, etc. But it is interesting that Arsenal were, you know, inquiring about him. Doesn't mean that they were trying to hijack the deal. It could have been just like they were ringing him up and saying, what's your status, what you're doing? Because obviously they've got to be making other preparations if they don't get hold of their number one target, which is Benzema. But I don't think Njai would have been lighting it up, lighting the world up for a lot of Arsenal fans. As I said a couple of weeks ago, if we're going to get Njai, well, then forget Njai. We should have got Lacazette. But Njai's joined Tottenham. But very interesting that. Does that mean that Arsenal then are looking around for alternatives? Just as I said yesterday on the show, on alternative strikers if they can't get Benzema, because remember, it's a very hard deal to get. And finally, Matthew Flamini being linked today with a move to Besiktas. Besiktas reportedly prepared to offer him wages of 65 grand a week. And they've told the Turkish media that they're going to be meeting with Arsenal officials. Of course, Flamini, 31. He hasn't featured yet for Arsenal, which is very telling. Certain players that haven't featured yet include him, Joel Campbell, you know, and other players that you've seen haven't featured have gone out. So Could he be on his way out? And if he does go out, do Arsenal then go and buy a defensive midfielder? These questions are going to all be answered very soon. There's only a couple of weeks left until the window shuts and I'm able to get sleep again. But all of these questions are going to be answered very shortly because the window's going to shut. But Flamini being linked with Besiktas, previously being linked with Galatasaray, but now Besiktas apparently in for him 65 grand a week. Those Turkish clubs, they pay a lot of money. I'll tell you, this is why they get pick up a lot of players who are sort of aging or coming towards their contracts. They pay humongous wages. Let's get into some of your comments. Remember yesterday I asked the question, alternatives to Karim Benzema. Because as I said, when you look out there and you look at players that are available or players that are at clubs, but if you came in with the right bid, you could get them. There's not many of that sort of quality. Let's see what you guys came up with. Or Grant Ross, he said, hi there, there's a list here of possible strikers. Stefan Jovetic, recently gone to Inter Milan, but we could have got him on the cheap and has Premier League experience. He's only 25 and never really had much of a chance to shine at City. Jovetic, remember Arsenal were after him before he went to City. Always injured though, no way. I wouldn't have wanted Arsenal touching him, and didn't look overly impressive. Yes, he didn't get his chance, but as an out-and-out striker, didn't look an out-and-out striker to me. Looked more of a striker playing across that front three, which we already have. Patrick Bamford on loan at Crystal Palace, but a real hot prospect as the player who won the Championship Player of the Year. As seen, already done business with Chelsea, might be able to do, might be doable. Well, he's on loan already at Crystal Palace, so we wouldn't be able to get that done. Don't think Chelsea would have sold him to us, and I don't think if he's not good enough for Chelsea, he's not good enough for Arsenal. And no, I wouldn't have had that. So sorry, there on your second one. Cyril Immobile on loan at Sevilla. He's only 25. Don't know much about him, but heard lots of mixed opinions from the media when he won the top scorer in Serie A, scoring 22 goals in 33 games. Of course, he was at Dortmund. I was over in Dortmund last year, and all I can say that when I mentioned Immobile's name, although he scored against us that night, I remember he scored against us, but on mentioning in his name to quite a few Dortmund fans, there's a lot of expletives that came out. They didn't rate him at all. Anthony Martial plays for Monaco. He's a young prospect, only 19, and has so much potential, will be relatively cheap. And Stephen El Shaarawy on loan at Monaco. He's a fantastic young world-class prospect at 22 years of age, already rated in the 52 in the world's best players list, and has all the attributes of an Arsenal player in pace, skills, and would be a great buy. We've looked at him before. Arsene Wenger's looked at him before. He's flattered to deceive, El Shaarawy. So far, he hasn't delivered. And for all those fans slagging off Giroud about his hair, exactly, I'll tell you, he wouldn't go down very well at Arsenal because he seems to care more about his hair than the football. El Shaarawy, again, I don't think so. Again, there, quite a few targets, none of them of world-class quality, none of them anywhere near Benzema. Therein lies the problem. Bidge 101 says, I would take Charlie Austin quickly if we didn't get Benzema. Again, as I said yesterday, I just do not think that he's at that level that we need. Not at that level. Not at that level. Hi, Robbie, from John Quigley. He said, maybe moving down the list of top strikers just because we may have failed to land Benzema would be foolish. He said, we already have Giroud, Walcott, Alexis, and Welbeck. I think if we bid for Zakari Bakali, a player who has immense dribbling and finishing and work rate attributes, that would be good. Wenger could mold him into a top striker. I know we're all sick of Wenger buying kids, but the guy looks amazing, and it will be better than blowing our money on some glorified Nicholas Bentner. Sam Udin suggests Graziano Pele from Southampton. Come on, he's a decent player. He's nowhere near as good as Giroud for me. Nowhere near. You wouldn't see Pele score a goal like what Giroud scored yesterday. Barrett was Yilmaz also an option offered by Sami Udin. Good player Yilmaz, but again, I think he's 30. I think West Ham have been linked to him, but he's about 30 years of age. Artis Uduriz from Atletico Bilbao, who scored a hat-trick against Barcelona. Looked good in that game, but that's one game that we saw. I'd have to know more about him. Quite a lot of you, including Pokerface here, and quite a lot of you suggested Lukaku. Lukaku would be a lot of money. Remember, Everton paid £27 million for him. It'd be a lot of money. Great player, great prospect. I think would be a good player. But no way, I don't think Everton. You'd have to put a mental bid in to get it, him. But yeah, I see that, and he scored. He did very well at the weekend, Lukaku, and in a better team, could do a job. You really wonder, you know, people say Mourinho's a genius, but getting rid of Lukaku, that doesn't look too clever now, does it? Paco Alsacar from Valencia. He reminds me of a young David Villa. And Rowan Farrell suggests Muller, Zlatan, Morata. Again, all players that will be hard to get over the line. You know what? Morata may be a big offer. I don't know. Maybe, you know, listen, it's Juventus. They don't have to sell. But maybe Morata would be a good option. John Delaney said, I'd give 70 million for Griezmann. That'd be way too much money. He's not worth that. Very, very good player, but not worth that. And DRF Gaming says Lewandowski, who simply will not be sold by Bayern Munich. So it's not an option. You see there how difficult it will be to get a striker in. Really, really tough. Thanks for watching Transfer Daily today. Don't forget to check out all our videos from Selhurst Park yesterday. Brilliant video from the fans. The fans yesterday, by the way, are absolutely amazing. You hear about the great atmosphere at Palace and their fans, the amount of noise they make. And they did. Palace fans yesterday were really loud, but Arsenal fans were loud and proud yesterday. Magnificent turnout by them. Lots and lots of noise. Brilliant atmosphere. It was like an old school game. And check out the Arsenal fans' takeover of Palace video, which is coming out later on. And also, brilliant video of Arsenal fans singing, "We are staying up," so we are staying up after getting the win at Selhurst Park yesterday. Brilliant banter. We'll be back same time tomorrow.